the shepherd, Messiah is both. So if Messiah is the chief shepherd, the enemy is the chief wolf. The wolf goes against the flock. Now the wolf has strategies. Now I looked up about wolves, about how they strategize. I mean, in the natural, to see spiritual applications. How do wolves attack? Wolves follow close behind a herd, knowing that their very presence can eventually cause panic among the herd. Sometimes they hide and suddenly spring, but sometimes they follow. Sometimes they'll dart back and forth in front of the herd to cause confusion in the flock, to prevent escape, to harass the herd, and wear it out, tire it out before moving in. The wolves work together. They cooperate in hunting. They wait for the right time to move in. Wolves even herd the flock. That's why you have sheepdogs, which actually are similar to wolves, but they're for good. But wolves actually will seek to herd the flock or the victim to a place where there's no escape. They even use decoys. One wolf will bark and distract while others move in from another direction. They seek to cause chaos, panic, confusion. They especially seek to mark out the weak. They go after the weak of the flock, the lame, the wounded, the crippled, old, sick, or the very young. They seek to isolate that one, separate the sheep from the flock, period. I mean, separate the flock from the shepherd, number one, or separate a sheep from a flock. They seek because it's dangerous when a lamb is isolated, but that's where the danger is. They seek to separate the weak from the rest of the flock, the wounded, to separate the young from its mother. And they seek to find a gap, wherever they can find a gap between the shepherd and the flock. If there's a gap, if a sheep is far from the shepherd, or he can't see, or has wandered off, that's the danger time. A pack of wolves are a team together to attack, to destroy a lamb or a sheep or a flock. Now, what does this reveal about the enemy's tactics against God's kingdom? The enemy goes after the flocks of God against any congregation and the flock as a whole, the church, always seeking a way to attack. So wolves, as wolves do, so the enemy does. Wolves seek to cause confusion. The enemy seeks to cause confusion. As wolves do, he seeks to cause chaos. He seeks for the sheep to panic, for you to panic. In your life, he tries to confuse you, throw you into chaos, cause you to panic. I shared at the Messiah conference, the word panic comes from the Greek god Pan. It's a pagan word, therefore to panic is pagan. A child of God should have nothing to do with pagan things, so don't panic. When you're under attack, don't panic. As wolves do, the enemy seeks to corner the flock, corner you, get you into a trap. Beware of getting into situations which would have you trapped, which ensnare you. The enemy seeks you to find yourself in a situation as such where you can't get out. We do have a promise: with every temptation, God will provide a way of escape. As do wolves, the enemy uses decoys, distraction, something to distract the flock, something to distract you. That you're focused on something you shouldn't be focused on, and not on the real issue or the real danger or the real important thing. So many people in the Lord get distracted with things that have nothing to do with the real issue of God. There's so many issues that are not the issue, and it's like a barking wolf. There's believers get into so many things on the web, so many different things, while the enemy is tearing apart society, tearing apart children, leading a civilization to go to hell, and persecuting believers, and believers are into so many other things. God's people tend to be wrapped up in things they shouldn't. Another thing the enemy seeks to do is cause division, because it causes confusion, separation, lack of unity. He gets in through gossip, through false doctrine, through wolves in sheep's clothing. We must guard against divisiveness, divisive talk, divisive people. As do wolves, the enemy especially looks for the weak, to go after the weak ones in the flock, to go after you when you're weak. In times of weakness, he goes. When you're tired, when you're upset, when you're afraid, when you're bitter, when you're not praying, when you're not reading, when you're discouraged or hurt or wounded, you're vulnerable. The weak so you know when you're weak. Take the precaution when you're weak. Strengthen it, hedge it, do what you have to do. As the wolf also goes after the lame, the enemy goes after the wounded, the crippled, the lame, goes after those who've been wounded. who are in the flock, who've been attacked or who feel hurt or feel wounded or who keep their hurts or feel like victims. That's dangerous because the enemy goes after that. When you feel that in your heart, people mistreat you, get it out of your heart, forgive them and get it out because the enemy is going to go into that. Get rid of the hurt, forgive, do what you have to do. As wolves go after the old of a flock, the enemy goes after those who get old in the Lord. In other words, I don't mean age, I mean that you get old. You lost the newness, you lost the fire, you lost the freshness. That's a dangerous place. The enemy goes after that. Get complete, get back, get refreshed. He also goes after, the wolves try to tire out the flock, weary them down. The enemy tries to tire you out, weary you out. You need to get refreshed in the Lord. And the enemy goes after the especial young ones because they're vulnerable. So in any flock, the enemy will seek to go after the very young, the newly saved. So we need to guard them. We need to encourage them, look out for them. See if they're here or not. Call them out. Whatever you need to do. Are we doing that? We have to do that. The wolves seek to isolate a sheep. And so the enemy is always going to try to isolate you. And how does he do it? He will try to separate you. Hard. You got to be aware of it. He'll always try that. Why? You get your feelings hurt. Okay, take off. You don't deserve that. Get out of there. You feel you're not appreciated. You're not thanked. You were disrespected. Get involved with negativity, gossip, divide. It's one of the easiest way for the enemy to separate people. Or getting into, the word in the New Testament for division or factions is the word heresis. We get the word heresy from it. Division is heresy in the Bible. Getting into false doctrines or divisive doctrines or making the minors the majors and dividing over that is another tactic of the enemy. Spiritual pride, where you or a group of you think that, hey, we're more spiritual than everybody else here, ends up being divisive. Or you just fall out of fellowship. You get apathetic. You fall out of the love of God. So it's written, do not forsake the assembly because it's dangerous to get isolated. Guard the bond of unity. Whatever way the enemy tries, the key is stay close to the Lord and to his people.